What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the Anabolic Outpost. We are officially right smack in the middle of the holiday season, the time of the year to show off and bring your best side dish to the family gathering. And of course, you know any dish that I'm bringing has to have the anabolic spin to it. And in today's video, I will be showing off my recipe for creamed spinach. Generally, not that common of a dish, and you may have never even had it in your life, but what better recipe to try it than the cream spinach recipe from the Anabolic Outpost. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm actually the first YouTuber to upload a higher protein, lower calorie cream spinach recipe, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but hopefully I could put the rest of you on to this delicious side dish. And to quickly run through what you will need to make this, you'll need spinach, of course, a pound of it to be exact. Cream cheese, fat-free if you could find it, or the lowest reduced fat that you can find. Fat-free Greek yogurt. Fat-free mozzarella cheese. Milk of choice, I'm using fat-free. Onion. Garlic. Nutmeg, salt, and pepper. And to start off the recipe, we'll get the chopping out of the way first, chopping up the onion and the garlic, and for the onion, I'm measuring that out at 50 grams. It should be minced into smaller pieces like so. And for the garlic, obviously if you want to just use your garlic mincer, you can, but I like my garlic a little bit chunky, especially in this recipe, so I'm going to go ahead and mince it by hand. And this is what my garlic and ham is looking like after it's chopped up, in case you're curious. And you could add that to the bowl with the onion as well. And along with the garlic and onion, we have a couple other ingredients to add as well, including 56 grams of Greek yogurt, and also 56 grams of the cream cheese. And finish it off with a third 56 measurement of the mozzarella cheese. And I really thought about adding 56 grams of the milk too, but we'll add an extra 4 grams to that for an even number of 60. And for the seasonings, I honestly just eyeball them, but it's about 2 teaspoons of the nutmeg and a teaspoon of each the salt and the pepper. You could then give it a preliminary mix. Don't worry about breaking up the cream cheese too much, just give it a mix so the flavors can marinate together. We'll be cooking the spinach next and transferring it directly in there, so it's going to be pretty hot and will break up the cream cheese much faster than you will be able to by hand. And for cooking the spinach, go ahead and set your burner to medium heat and just add a small drop of oil in the center. Not the smallest drop of oil you've ever seen, but I've got a pound of spinach here to cook, and it's probably going to need more than that anyway. Let the oil heat up for a little bit, and then you could add your spinach in. I'm just grabbing in handfuls at a time. You may not believe me, but you could actually cook all of this spinach in one batch. Depending on the size of the pan you're using, you'll have to slowly add handfuls, but this stuff reduces like crazy. You would know if you've ever cooked spinach before. And it's pretty simple from here. The spinach is going to cook fast, so just continue to rotate it, making sure that all of the spinach is coated in oil, and over time it's going to slowly start to reduce, and you can continue to add more of the spinach in. And just a minute or two later, you can see how much it's reduced already, and I already have room for probably the rest of the spinach. In the finishing up process now, this is what it should begin to look like, and even cooking spinach several times, it never fails to amaze me how much this stuff reduces. Maybe not the best for volume eating, but I think Greg Doucette can vouch that eating spinach directly out of the container, it isn't the most appetizing or efficient way to eat voluminous. And once your spinach is cooked, you could go ahead and transfer it to the mixture that we made earlier. Don't even worry about letting it cool down or anything, just transfer it directly in. It's going to help melt the other ingredients a little bit better and be easier to mix. And for the most fun part of this recipe, taking the cream and taking the spinach and combining them to make the creamed spinach. Mix it thoroughly so there are no creamy chunks, and you should be good to go. To bake it, I'm actually using a pie dish, but any sort of oven safe container would probably work for this, as long as it's only an inch or 2 deep. So hit it with some cooking spray and start to transfer your mixture in. Of course, you know it's going to be super thick, so just take your rubber spatula and spread it around, flattening it until there's an even surface on the top. And now for a quick view over before cooking. Unfortunately though, you will need to let it refrigerate for 4 hours before putting it in the oven. For structure and consistency, I highly recommend that you do so. And after you do so, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees, cooking for a total of 20 to 25 minutes. And once you've done so, pulled out of the oven, this is what the final product is looking like. I guess cream spinach or spinach in general may not be the most aesthetic looking food, but until you've tried it and tried this specific recipe itself, you won't really realize just how aesthetic it looks without having that experience yourself. And did you know that eating aesthetic food directly correlates to aesthetics in the gym? Well, maybe not, but this and all the other recipes on my channel are a clear exception. With an incredible line of macros with 40 grams of protein, 45 grams of carbs, and 2 grams of fat for 330 calories. 330 calories in a serving? No, 330 calories in this entire dish. Quite incredible. Although it is a vegetable, to have a creamed vegetable like this, where the cream is 10 times the calories than the vegetable itself, is actually quite rare to find. And today, you have found something quite rare. That is all for me today though. If you did have any questions about how to make this recipe or anything across the course of this video, leave a comment down below and I will be sure to help you out down there. If you did find this recipe helpful and delicious though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.